Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. HittnerGroup.com, Hittner Group. That's all one word. HittnerGroup.com, 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling. Be happy to have a chat with you all about your real estate desires, wants, needs, and aspirations. 612-627-8000. Okay, we're cruising into, I can't believe we're halfway through November.
I know.
It's unbelievable to me. So what happened? What happened? It seemed like the summer was going so well and just
And now we're here.
wonderful, and all of a sudden it's boom.
Bam, 25 degrees.
25 degrees and
You notice it, right?
just a few weeks till Christmas, kids.
Yeah.
Got your you out there doing some shopping, Keith Reno?
I mean, my son has a list set
I'm
for me.
sure he does.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
It is, and it makes
Yeah.
it, I mean, my son has a lot of activities and hobbies and interests, where my daughters are like, I don't know.
Some clothes and makeup, and they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skincare.
Skincare stuff.
Do you have your Christmas lights up yet, Senior?
I'm not. I don't have Christmas lights up.
Why
No,
not?
No,
I got
too
it.
expensive. I can't afford it. I'm on fixed income, you know.
Oh, you're so full of. Well, I have a company that does it. It's
Who?
RTD Services.
Never
they're
heard of
coming out to my place.
Is that
hanging them
new?
up.
When you coming out?
When are we coming out?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just finally paid them, and then they said we'll get you.
That
the
really,
schedule.
that greases the scale.
Yeah.
That helps.
Money
Paying-
helps.
Paying helps.
That
I know you
helps.
want them on your house. Wondering if you'd like to pay for them to be
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
house.
yeah.
I said, well, I know Mike, but then nothing. I got nothing.
I
Well,
heard
thank
that.
you.
I heard
Appreciate
that
it.
if you put a sign in the front yard, you get half off. Is that?
Is that
That's
true?
not true.
Oh, for
Oh, it's
sure.
not true.
It's not true.
Calvin was telling me at coffee that was the case. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do them anymore either, do you?
No, I did them that 1 year.
Yeah, that was enough.
Why don't you do them again?
Yeah, I could.
You could.
Yeah.
So you guys just are Scrooges? You don't
Cheap. The word is cheap. Thrifty.
Well, you have the
Frugal.
right house for it too, though.
Thrifty.
It
I
looks
know.
good on you.
It looks
Have?
really
That's great.
good.
Why?
They only worked
Yeah.
for about a couple weeks, and then they stopped working. So.
Well, we don't like. I don't like that answer because it's simple. You plug them in. They
Well,
work.
you do have to plug them in.
Just plug them in, man.
Okay.
I liked mine. They were great.
I did
They are
too.
great.
They were very
Okay,
pretty.
let's do a little real estate,
All
here,
right.
kids.
All right.
Active listings, 7,779 active listings on the market as of Wednesday. Previous
Is that up or down?
that is down from the previous week, down 0.7%, 54 units, hardly down, but it's down. Here's the thing that I find interesting. We're about 40 days on the market now. 40 for the ones that went pending. That means that the ones that are still sitting out there
R plus.
are plus. So we're looking at 60 days.
Wow.
That's like,
People get nervous, man.
and I
When do
don't
you
know
think
why
people
that
get-
is
start to get
because
nervous?
we always
30 days?
30 days you should do a price reduction, in my opinion. If you've had the home on the market for 30 days, if you've had showing activity, if you've got no showings and it's 30 days later, then reducing the price might not do a thing for you. But the point of it is after you've had some marketing time and nothing has happened, obviously you need to reposition the property to get in front of some new people. And that's what a price reduction will do for you if you have a substantial enough price reduction. But what you're seeing now is just that, 60 to 90 days was pretty typical for decades. It just takes some time. And especially if you've got a property that's in an area or a price point where there just aren't that many buyers looking, especially
Right.
at this time of the year, don't get excited about it. Just take some time. Someone's going to come along, and there's a seat for every butt. I always say.
But don't you think that's just like people in your age category would, interest rates are great. We have a whole generation that hasn't seen over 4%. So it does slow the market down, being at 6, right?
It pushes the market into a different price range. Where they may not be, their expectations don't meet their budget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but The reality is the reality,
Yeah.
and the reality is we are at historically normal rates. So
Right, but
it'd
I'm
be
just
wonderful if we could always live on something that's abnormally low, but we
Right.
can't.
But that's what I'm saying with the 60 to 90. That's not normal in most people's minds because they were used
Correct.
to properties going like this, right?
Especially agents.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's who's getting nervous. Is the agents,
Because you're not used to having to.
because they're not used to having to actually
Because now you have
market
to
a
actually,
property.
market a property,
You actually
have
have
a
to
conversation.
do an open house, maybe actually talk to your seller.
Yeah.
Maybe explain the market and whatnot. And they've never had to do it before, so we're gonna have some agents washing out.
Good.
At the renewals.
What are you guys doing different right now other than, I know obviously you put it on the MLS, but what do you do differently now that there are longer period, the days on market is longer? Are you doing something to try to drive more traffic to it, or don't you? I mean, I know it gets out to all these different sites, but is that kind of it, or what do you do?
Well,
Is it open houses?
getting
you're
out
doing
to
more?
all the sites is one thing.
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer in open houses.
Yep.
I've always done a lot of open houses. I just think that when you're in a market that is less robust, that doesn't mean that people still aren't interested, but they're not saddled up with an agent in a car, but they're curious, and they'll see. I'll give you a perfect example. So we have a house in West St. Paul. I've had like one showing on this house
Okay.
in 3 weeks. One. Wow. Little one-level townhome. But I've held it open 3 times. Every time I hold it open, I'll get a half a dozen people come through the open house. And they're the right people in that right price point. And it's like, well, why aren't you saddled up? Well, people in that age bracket, they move a little bit slower. They're a little more thoughtful in what they're doing, and they just want to go out and see. But I have, to me, that's showings. I've got showings. So I've had a dozen showings on that house or more. It's just that only one of them.
One scheduled.
Only one of them was scheduled.
I'm surprised at how many buyers I talk to, and they are working with one of my realtors. I'm like, oh, how was the weekend? What'd you do? Oh, we were out looking at open houses.
Yeah.
And I go, were you out with so and so?
No.
And they go, no, we just went and looked, and then when we find something, then we'll let them know. It's like,
Yeah.
now they're doing the work for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I think
know.
it goes both
It's even
ways on
less work for
listings
you.
and buyer
Yeah.
activity. When you're in a market like this, it takes more, you have more time for active outreach for agents as a listing agent. So you're doing more, networking and connecting with agents and trying to get them to come out and view the property with their buyers. There's more time for that, and I think that that's a necessary step. You say, what are you doing differently during a market like this?
Yep.
That's something that needs to be done differently. And it's the same with a buyer. Like, we don't have a ton of houses in a specific area that inventory isn't extreme. I mean, it's been rising and things like that, but it's not like we're super oversaturated with inventory, and that's a problem. Inventory is still a problem the other way in a lot of communities where there's not a lot available. So it does take more active outreach by the agent for the client to try to find property that's not on the market. And that means mailing letters into neighborhoods where people want to live, or connecting with people that are in your database that have been there for 15 years and maybe they want to move. Because we have a ton of fence sitters, in my opinion, based on what I see. We have fence sitters that are looking to buy property, and they're either not seeing what they're looking for, or it's not good enough, or they're waiting for rates to drop, or whatever it is. There's a ton of people that would buy today if the situation was right for them, and there's a ton of people that would sell today if the situation was right for them. And that's that, like we used to call it, shadow inventory, for foreclosure inventory and things like this. That's what we have right now, in that people would move around if the situation presented itself. And so as an agent, we have to go try to present that situation. Right? And I think that when the market is a little bit slower, those are the types of activities that you have to be doing to sell and help people buy property. Yeah.
One trick I like to do, just along those lines, Kelvin, is we have a house. Say you've got a house that's $650,000 in Lakeville, and who's the likely buyer for that house? Well, there's two people. A relocation in that's coming in, that's a likely buyer, and a move-up buyer.
Right.
Okay, so what are they moving up from? A house that's maybe $500,000, 450, 500. All right. So I go to the MLS, search houses in Lakeville in the same school district, same schools, in that price point, and mail them a sheet on my house because they're the likely buyer. Now, their house is on the market, so I know they're moving. I know they want to move. I don't know. Maybe they bought something else already. Maybe they got one being built. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to send them the flyer at least to get my property in front of them. You know, at least you're doing that kind of outreach. Then you couple that with, there's so much that we're doing now in social media now that we never had the opportunity to do in the past. And it's just top of mind awareness, because someone who doesn't think they're moving today, you know, finds out that mama's pregnant and all of a sudden they're moving tomorrow.
Well, with that, we're going to head out to break. Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to hittnergroup.com, Hittner group.com, or give us a call, 612-627-8000.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com, Hittner group.com, 612-627-8000. I'm sure you'd rather be listening to this than watching the Vikings lose another game.
We're playing the Bears.
Yeah, I know, Bears.
We're going to win.
Oh, yeah. Huh? Well, we beat them before, didn't we?
We beat them the first game.
Yeah,
I was there.
absolutely.
Come on.
Okay. Michael.
Don't like your attitude.
We're going to go two things here. First of all, I want a recap of the election.
Okay. Why don't you explain who he is?
And why don't you do that as long as you're here talking?
Mike Hilborn, the owner, entrepreneur, RTD Services, ran for St. Paul mayor. Came in third, I believe.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Okay. Thanks for setting the table there.
There you go.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Now you've been through two election cycles. One for mayor, and the other one was for state representative?
Yep.
Okay.
Minnesota House.
Okay, Minnesota House. Give us your first. I just want to have your thoughts on the process of running for political office.
Yeah. So I'll focus on this one. The last one, there wasn't, I don't know, maybe there wasn't any chance this time either. But the first one, it was like, there's no way you're going to win. Not a chance in the world. And that was fine because it was just, you know, it's like, no, you still have to have an opponent. You can't just have one person voting.
Okay.
I hate it. So anyway, this time around, I actually had people that said, Mike, you could win kind of thing. So that was fun. It was a different perspective on it.
You had hope.
Yeah, there was some optimism possibly.
Sure.
And it was a fantastic experience. I'm really glad I did it. I learned some really cool things about myself that I didn't know, of course, right? Because you're going to put yourself in some situations.
Sure.
Yeah. It was really, really good, really, really good. And I ended up with 9% of the vote. Yan Chen, who I thought was good, she was my first choice. I would have liked to have seen her win.
She ended up
10%. So she was like 1% better than me, and she worked really hard.
Okay.
Put a lot of money into it. She had all the help from all the things that you would think you'd get help from, like TV, newspaper, and all that kind of stuff. And she got 10, and I got 9. So I'm actually really happy with that.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a great experience. If Kali Her hadn't run, Melvin would have won. Mm-hmm. There's no way that Yan or I would have beat Melvin, but Kali Her, having been a Minnesota representative, Hmong community, that was able to push her over the top. And I think that's good. I'm glad 2 terms is enough. I don't care what your story is.
Change is good regardless.
Yeah, come on, 3, really? Especially the direction we're going. Mm-hmm. The way I would describe Kali is that she is a really hardworking, ambitious, efficient Melvin Carter. Okay. So she is, to me, they're the same person.
Policies are the same.
100%,
right.
And which I disagree on many of those. Mm-hmm. But she's going to be really forceful. She's bold and she's really strong, kind of thing.
All right. So now, what does that mean for St. Paul, then going forward, in your opinion?
Well, I don't know. I think they lowering taxes not on the list, lowering crime not on the list, homelessness not on the list.
What is on the list? Bike paths?
It's bike paths. It's
but bike paths. She wasn't for bike paths, was she?
No,
as much as the one.
Well,
guy was?
the one guy, I made the joke. He was talking about getting rid of 94. And I was at McAllister College, get rid of 94. And we're at McAllister College, so I'm in the wrong place, right, to speak about any of my stuff. And there was this one thing on bike paths, and I said, well, I'm with Adam. I think we need to turn 94 into a bike lane. And nobody laughed. I mean, it was like, oh, yeah, okay, that'll be a good idea.
Yeah, I can totally see
that kind of thing. And it's just this whole equity thing and systemic racism stuff. It's like, what? Melvin, you're the mayor. How could you possibly be? And then Collie, how could you talk about it? I mean, get out of here. I mean, it's all. I'm the guy that's on the out here. I'm not allowed to be on NPR with you guys. I mean, what is this? But so that's kind of what they're into. Instead of, making the city more pro-business. I mean, because they're not that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's what I think.
Okay, so when you look back, what?
Okay,
go ahead.
I've got a bunch of questions too, so we'll share time.
Okay.
So talk about how the election went, because Melvin won first ballot and their second ballot. Yeah. I didn't know anything about it until you were doing it, and then I researched it. But I don't think people even understand how the
first and second
choice thing goes.
Yeah. Okay. So ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice.
Ranked choice voting. So she won with second chances, right? Because you were either going to vote for Melvin or probably
somebody
didn't care about who else was it.
So and then first and second choice.
First and second choice, right? So that's where she picked up on the second choice.
So when I go in to vote, I have to write Hilborn, and then I got to write Carter.
Well, I could show you a picture of it, but it's basically boxes, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so you put Melvin is your first choice. That's 1. You fill in the 1 box. Mm-hmm. Collie's the 2 box, so on and so forth.
And does the order of those people on the ballot, you think, influences people's decisions?
It's random.
Really
it's a randomized thing, because I saw
some ballots are different than others.
Exactly. Okay. So some had Melvin at the top, some had Collie at the top. My ballot looked different. A friend of mine took a picture of his ballot and showed it to me that he had voted for me, so that was fun. So it's randomized on that whole thing. And then the interesting part about it is that anybody can run for mayor. Anybody. As long as you're willing to kick in $500, you're on the ballot. So there were 5 of us, because it only cost us. So I didn't have to go through a primary. I didn't have to get anything other than fill out the form and pay the $500. So, and then there's no any of that stuff. And then you just
then you're responsible for your funding your own campaign then.
Raise money.
Yeah, you got to raise money.
And putting your
and nobody, from what I understand, nobody was giving. The Democratic Party doesn't have a whole lot of money either, and I don't think any money went to Melvin or Collie from that party. But you get the endorsement, or whatever, or you just get, you just tell people that, one of the things that's so funny about it was that the mayor and the city council is nonpartisan. So when you get the ballot, it doesn't have a D or R next to your name or any of that stuff. But you would think they do, because that's all anybody talks about is like when I was on this one TV thing, this lady kept wanting to call me a Republican. I said, no.
I watched that,
no. I'm running as an independent. The founding fathers of the city wanted it to be like this, and I think that's a great idea. We don't need to be left or right or red or blue on this thing, But anyway.
Okay, so looking back then on your campaign, what have you learned in terms of like running a campaign, and what would you have done differently?
I was asked that question. I literally don't know if I could have done anything differently. Right? You got to raise money. You got to get support, and if you can't do that, you're kind of dead in the water. And
would you have started sooner trying to?
No. I don't think so. No, I don't know.
More effort raising money, or
I talked to a bunch of people that I got $0 from business people in St. Paul, and I talked to a lot of them. Not one penny from anybody. And the comment was, Mike, I can't support you because you're unlikely to win. And then it shows up on a website that I donated to your money. And then it's this old political thing. So the system is designed, in a way, or not, I don't know if it's designed, but this is what happens is a guy like me who's I'm a very viable candidate. I'm a business owner and a second chance employer, and I've done some things that should put me in I know he's worth considering, But no, I wasn't on NPR's thing. I wasn't, Pioneer Press thing. You're just not involved because you haven't raised any money.
Is that because you didn't poll high enough?
No, I just didn't raise any money. There's no polling.
Oh, it's based on. Okay, so it's based on.
Well, that's
how
what they
money?
say, but but you should have had me at 4. You put me on. You should have had me on. You should have had a voice, I think, that's different than the other 3.
Sure.
Right? You have somebody with
opposing
a different
viewpoint.
Yeah, let's put a conservative, because I'm a conservative. At least listen, But that's not the way it worked out.
Okay,
and I'm good with it. I get it.
So what's your takeaway? First of all, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, loved it.
Okay.
The forums were the best. I loved being on those forums. There was one where I'm talking about how the government, everything turns to rust Why do you want the government to do more things? You don't want us being in charge of picking up your trash. You don't want any of that stuff. And as I'm sitting down, Collie, her, and we sat next to each other quite a bit. And I like her. I like them all. We were all kind of like, we call it, I said we're friends, and then Collie said, well, we're frenemies. It's like, okay, we'll go with that. But as I'm sitting down, she goes, I love government. And then I'm like, I hate it. I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah.
She wants a law, she wants a law for everything. They want to control everything. It's remarkable. It's like, that's not going to help. It's not going to help. Doesn't matter. They think it's a feeling thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's left and right is one works with
different
feelings.
Worldview.
They don't really, facts is not their primary concern, right? It's really how does it feel? Mm-hmm. And then you got the conservatives over here. It's like, we really don't care how you feel. It's just like, what's going to work, or that sort of thing. So that's what you see when you're out there.
So has it gotten into your blood now? You're gonna.
Oh no, I'm not this. I'm done. I've already had people say, well, you can't stop. It's like, well, there's no point in going. I mean, I did what I set out to do.
We had a representative from another city that ran again and again and again and again, and she was on the ballot like every time she's on the ballot. Finally, her name recognition got so high that people just thought she was the incumbent.
Interesting.
And so they voted for her just because her name's on the ballot. They just figured, oh, she must be the incumbent, so she won.
Well, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because all I'd have to do is come up with $500.
Well, good on you for giving it a shot. It's fun to watch.
Exactly.
At
least we had someone in the game.
Every once in a while, correct. We had somebody in the game, and you gave it your all, but it's hard in a state like we're in and the cities that we're talking about. So, Real Estate Chalk Talk, 612-627-8000, hittnergroup.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com, 612-627-8000, 612-627-8000. All right, RTD companies, Michael. We are changing seasons, so you're headlong into your fall, winter activities. Describe, if you will, give us some background of the company. What is the company? What do you do? And then kind of what's your flow of activity right now?
So we're a power washing company, spring, summer, fall is the way I describe it, snow plowing in the wintertime. And we also do Christmas lighting and kind of a lot of Christmas lighting. So basically that runs April through October on the power washing side, and then the snow and Christmas lighting is the winter side. But it's been very interesting this year. I mean, we still have people calling us to wash parking garages. Middle of November.
Yeah.
We were supposed to line stripe a property yesterday.
Yeah,
and so that's very
sneak
odd.
A couple in.
Yeah, it's very odd. We still have a project where they want us to wash the building. So it's kind of interesting to see how long all this is stretching out. And we're having a really good year, and it's been great, and one of our better years as far as everything goes.
You didn't mention roofs and decks.
Yeah, power wash sustain decks and fences and cedar shake roof. We just sealed a roof 2 days ago.
Okay.
So yeah,
so you're still doing that as well.
Yeah. We're
Not
just trying to
power
wrap
wash.
a bunch of stuff up. Yeah. It's been great.
Sealed a roof.
Well, okay, so we clean cedar shake wood roofs, right?
Okay.
We power wash it, get the moss and algae off there, and then you put a sealer on there.
Okay.
And the idea is to prevent it from coming back
Sure.
quite so quickly.
Yeah. All right, so then Christmas lighting, let's just focus on that for a minute. What does that entail? What's that look like? I mean, you go into someone's house and decorate the inside of their house?
Well, it's not an inside thing. It's an
Okay.
outside thing,
Right.
primarily. I mean, like 99.9. So I was at a house yesterday in Stillwater, brand new house, customer that moved from somewhere else. And, they want their roof line and some trees done.
So do you guys get into these permanent lighting situations, or is it just your up and down stuff?
I did go into that. I do have my building. I installed this product called Inception. And permanent lighting is getting more and more popular. It is not, we can't scale it the way we want to. So I'm stepping out of it.
What's that mean? Scale?
Well, I can't get 4 or 5 crews doing it.
Okay.
To do one here, one there. I need work where I do it all the time.
Right. It's more of an interruption than...
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it's just
That's
like,
good.
okay, this isn't, it just doesn't have...
And
a
is
track
that
for
far
us.
more expensive?
Yeah, it's like 4 to 5 times more expensive.
Okay, wow.
But it's year round.
Right.
And you can't see it during the day. So that's the cool part.
Yeah, I'm just
it's not like you
thinking
see the
for,
big
the
bulbs.
clientele for that then.
Yeah.
And how
Well, there are people that have
prevalent
that
is.
personality. Yeah, no. Well, I see it more and more all the time. It's really popular up in Canada of all places,
Okay.
right? They just can't stand the idea. I got to pay for this every year. Are you kidding me? To have me do it. So to have something that you don't one time and it lasts at least 10, 12 years, and then you got Valentine's Day, you got Independence Day, you got all that stuff.
So when you're going out, how do you you bid it? Is it a linear foot? Is it? Do you eyeball it? Do you measure it? What?
You just measure everything,
And
it's
how
all
do you
based
measure
on that.
when it's peaks?
Well, there's linear is easy, right? And if you have kind of a normal peak, well, just double it. If you have a really steep peak, triple it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no secret.
It's close enough,
Yeah.
to what we're trying to do here. Yeah.
Commercial work
Yep, we do commercial. Yep.
for
Northern Tool. We've done that for years. All kinds of businesses that have it done. A lot of apartment buildings, condos, banks, restaurants.
How do you do the trees? Because trees have got to be tough, and they look great. I
They
just
do
don't
look
understand how the heck you do it, and how did your guys learn to do it?
Well, there's a company out of Wisconsin called Reinders that taught us how to do it. And then it's like anything. Once you know how to do it, it's easy, right? It's just there's a couple little things. The one thing that is the coolest part about it is I know how to roll up lights at the end of the year that will not ever get tangled up. And that's right there. That is like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Otherwise
and it's
you're-
so simple.
You want to throw them away.
Well, they get all tangy and then they're unusable. We roll them into basically about the size of a baseball. And then even when you install, instead of trying to deal with you're doing one little roll of a ball around the thing. I could teach you in like 5 minutes.
So it's like rolling a yarn.
Yeah, it's just like rolling out yarn, but a little bit better than that even. And that's the trick. Don't tell anybody, but that's the trick.
So
Nobody's listening anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're watching the Vikings game. So, but you're doing the trees. How do you judge what you price out for a tree?
Well, it's length. It's length times the width times the calculation. So you go with the broadest part of the tree times the height of the tree. You type that into this Excel spreadsheet thing I did 15 years ago, and it tells me how many strands it should get.
Interesting.
All right, so you've got 4 seasons of the year. You got business cycles for every season because you call yourself a seasonal business.
Yep.
What's your favorite?
Ice dams. Ice dams are the
Ice
most,
dams.
Ice dams are the funnest thing you'll ever do. Ever.
That surprises
Pick your
me.
best vacation you've ever had. Best vacation you've ever had. You'd rather do this.
You'd rather do ice dams.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
What makes it fun?
Oh my! You've got a hot water squirt gun, and you're melting the ice into these little blocks, right?
Yeah.
And then you pitch it over your shoulder, and you're making more money than you've ever made. Ever. You are in the top 1% of the 1%, and that's my hour. I got guys that'll make $500-600 a day doing ice dams. They'll make $3,000 a week.
It's fun to do.
And it's fun, and it's warm, and it's cozy, and ice is literally hanging from your hair, and you could not be more comfortable.
So this is a power washing scenario.
It's a pressure steamer.
Yeah.
You have superheated water, and it melts it off really fast, and it's just fun.
But you don't get that every year, do you?
No,
Mike?
it's every 4 or 5 years.
And when that happens, though, obviously, you'll go all over the country.
Everywhere in the country. Boston. We went to Boston. That was
You said that was
incredibly-
your funnest.
I've never seen more snow in my life. That when this hit Boston, it didn't.
Did you go?
It did.
personally?
Oh, I was. Oh, yeah, absolutely, I was. And it did not. They piled the snow in these giant parking lots right by the ocean. Right. It did not melt until July.
Wow.
That's how much snow they had. That they had to pile it up so high. And I sent 15. We sent 15 guys out there, 15 vans. I had guys in Chicago at the time, so all the guys from Minnesota, all the guys from Chicago. I bought 8 vans when I was there, rented 3 more, and I could have had 100 vans. It wouldn't have been enough. And then what was so fun about it is people, would call and they'd say, "You're the Minnesota company, right?"
Yeah, we need
okay.
that. We need those guys.
You don't want any. You want somebody from. They don't think when you're in Boston. They think the ice is on our lakes year round. That's what they think.
So
These
if
guys
anybody
know how
knows
to
how
do
to
it.
deal with this, it's going to be the
It's
Minnesota guys.
and Minnesota sent all kinds of people. All my competitors went
Yeah.
out there. We rented like 20 rooms, more than that, in a hotel, and and if a guy gets sick, it's so profitable. If a guy gets sick or something happens to family, boom, you're on a plane tonight. We'll have you home tomorrow. That kind of thing. You can,
All right, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
it's great.
How do you think that your political endeavors have impacted your business?
Well, the good news is nobody knows who I am. So
As
I don't think
represented
it's-
by your vote tally.
yeah, exactly. So nothing. No, I had one guy. He was a pretty big customer too. He had a lot of money, and he said, "Nope, we're not going to use you ever again."
Really?
Yeah. He goes, "No, we're a progressive city. We are not going to have you do this."
Interesting.
Yeah, well, of course,
Progressive
right?
city.
That's what he wants. It's like, all right, well,
So progressive meaning higher taxes, higher homelessness, more crime.
yeah, whatever is in his head, I guess.
Just because you got different ideas.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you know
funny.
that, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Right.
And I knew that, but that's it. That's the only one I can tangibly say that I know that happened because he said it to my face.
But
Which
then,
is good.
But then maybe there's somebody going the other way too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Your name
Yep.
recognition certainly has to be better now than it was 2 years ago.
I don't know.
Don't you think? I mean, you're out there, you're meeting people, you're on TV.
I'm
you're
wearing a
doing everything.
T-shirt that says Hillborn on it.
Yeah.
That's
gotta
right.
help.
That's right. That's right.
That's got to help.
Walking in
things.
parades and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody remember anything?
I don't
Who was the guy that ran 2 years ago? You
I
know?
have no idea.
You don't know.
I,
You know.
I have no idea.
I put 32 yard signs up. You know, Collie put up
32.
1,000. 32.
Okay.
And I loved every one of them.
Yeah.
Drive away. Hey, look at that. That's
Drive
my
by,
name.
there's
That's
my
my
sign.
name.
There's my
That's
sign.
right.
All right, we have a minute 45 left. I need to know, you said earlier you learned stuff about yourself. Tell me about that.
Okay, here's what I really
You know what I
found
mean?
Yeah.
amazing is that I was really good at answering questions without getting mad. Like if I was arguing with you,
Yep.
man, I start getting teed up right away, right?
Right.
But it was fascinating to see what I was going to say, and then it came back. It's like, wow, I'm surprised I that's it. Because
That's pretty raw, right? To
Yeah.
be able to find yourself in that situation and be able to have a dissenting opinion and have the conversation without getting worked up about it.
and even kind of feeling that there was a motive behind it. Like
Right.
there was that TV thing you saw on Channel 9.
Yeah.
That I've listened to that several times, and I've been very happy. You know, most of the time you go back and say, okay, I wish.
Yeah, I looked like a schluck.
No, I
Yeah.
looked at it. It's like, wow, that Mike, nice job on that one because that went well.
Yeah.
It was like I wrote the questions, so it just really everything fell my way. Because there was a couple of ones like I would be asked the questions like, oh boy, yeah, nobody's gonna like my answer to this one, but I'd still give them the right answer, or the real answer, not the right answer, I suppose, but the real answer.
Did you get a call from the winner?
No, I did call her though. I did leave her a voicemail and say, hey, congratulations, way to go. If you need any help, let me know.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, that's it for this segment, Mike. Thanks so much.
You guys, I love it. Thank you.
RTDservices.com, or yeah, did I get that right?
RTDservices.com.
Got it right. I've only been around for a long time.
Keeps
RTDservices.com.
changing.
Mike Hilborn, going to hang out for the fourth segment. We'll talk with Calvin a little bit. Money segment next. Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, or call us, 612-627-8000.
Hey, welcome back to the big money segment of the program. Calvin Kamick, ladies and gentlemen. 651-231-2500 is the number to call for the great rates and the low cost to acquire your mortgage documents.
We got a lot to discuss.
Okay, let's discuss it.
I'm going to start. Give me a quick mortgage, quick real estate update, inventory, days on market.
Okay, days on market for those that have sold are about 40 days on the market now. We're running from list to a purchase agreement. And then we got about 7,800 homes on the market. That's the highest level since 2019.
Wow.
In 2019, we had about 8,300 homes on the market, so about 500 homes less than then. But market is slowing.
Okay, so I've got so much stuff to hit, so don't blather on this stuff. Are we shifting to a seller's market or buyer's market? Where are we right now? And I want both of your opinions and give me the why around it. So a buyer's market, seller's market.
Yeah, I think we're definitely shifting more towards a buyer's market.
Okay.
Inventory still is not where we need it to be. But if you're especially for first-time home buyers, I think there's a lot of opportunity. We have such a small segment of our purchasers in the country, nationwide stats, 25%, something like that, that are first-time home buyers. And with that being low and available inventory in a given metro area is good enough that you can go out and make some deals. And so for those buyers, we really need them to come back into the market. So anything that our mortgage partners can do to help that would be fantastic. I think there's great opportunity for first-time home buyers to get into properties right now.
What do you think, Senior?
I think from a technical standpoint, with Scott County having 2.8% months of inventory, Dakota County 2.4, that's technically still a seller's market. You can make that a buyer's market by overpricing, and I think that's as the market slows. I think it's more of a function of people getting too far over their skis, especially at this time of the year. You got to be really, really careful. And it's always about location and price point.
Right.
You know, if you get if you're still in a home under $400,000 in any of the decent suburbs, that's a sweet place to be because that property is going to move. You're probably still going to have multiple offers on it, just all the stuff. Now you can make that slow by pricing it
right.
You know, $50,000 more than it should be. And and then you'll get done. We just closed on one recently. We got multiple offers, closed in Apple Valley, $10,000 over the asking price. But it was in that under $500,000 sweet spot.
That's good. Let's shift from the market to some things that are in the news right now. Two things. Hit on the first one. Article was Fannie Mae removes minimum credit score.
Dumbest thing in the world.
Woo! Everybody like, oh my God, everybody's going to get approved. No one's getting approved, people. It's a factor. It's a factor. I'm baffled at the stupidity that I see in our marketplace.
Yeah, there's so many other factors that are going to come into
Tons
play.
of
So if you have
right?
a 380 credit score, there's a reason for that. And if you have missed payments and things, you're not going to be approved.
It still measures a bunch of stuff. So taking the 620 minimum credit score out, it's nice, but you're probably still not going to get a home if you're in the mid or low 500s with your score because you have late payments. You have all these other factors that make your
credit
profile
score go down. Yeah,
your borrowing profile, right? Here's what's your profile. Your profile is that you don't pay your bills, so we're probably not going to lend you a bunch of money. Can we just say that? That'd be interesting. So I don't think it's that big a deal. Everybody's trying to wave the flag on that deal. First dumb thing. Second dumb thing. And these are both Trump administration things. So normally I'm on like, hey, they're doing good. Now I'm like, not real smart people. Thinking about introducing the 50-year mortgage. Let's go, 50 years. Never build equity for the rest of your life.
The median first-time home buyer age at 40, and then we throw a 50-year mortgage on there.
By the time you're 90, you're not going to owe a dime, and you're going to be dead. And it's the stupidest thing.
And your equity position is going to be pretty poor 5 years from now when you need to move.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I mean, I think it would be so detrimental to the market. And I see these people that I actually thought I respect going, this is the greatest thing. It's going to really open some things up for first-time home buyers, all this stuff. I'm going to give you numbers. $400,000 loan, 6% interest. Okay, let's just talk about that.
$400,000 loan.
Loan. The loan is $400,000.
Okay,
right.
That's
6% interest.
Pretty high for a first-time home buyer.
So this is you just got to work.
I got
with
it.
Me.
Okay, I'm working.
Okay, 30-year fixed.
I mean, not really.
Your payment is $2,398. Principal and interest, $2,398. $400,000 loan, 6% interest. On a 50-year mortgage, that goes all the way down to $2,105. You save $293. And I'm watching this video on these people like, this is going to get first-time home buyers and it's going to eliminate the cash buyer. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not going to do that at all. And here's the great news. You don't start making principal payments until the 26th year of your mortgage.
What?
So you save $300, but it's all principal reduction.
It's all interest. It's all interest.
You've saved $300 a month.
Yep.
But what you've done is taken away $300 of principal reduction.
Exactly.
That's it.
Right. So the interest you pay, just the interest on a 30-year fixed mortgage, same thing, $400,000, 6%. You pay in interest $463,352
for a total of.
So a total of $867,352.
If you were to stay in that home, you almost paid $1 million to live in a $400,000 house.
But good news, you stretch that thing out to 50 years. Now just interest. $863,371. You pay $400,000 more in interest, making the grand total for that $400,000 loan you're paying back $1.263 million.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
It is the stupidest thing.
I read this week the median time for people staying in their home is getting longer.
Yep.
So that's good. But that number is 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so with these new scenarios, even at that, it's not a smart decision financially.
No,
you're basically renting.
It's basically renting.
So I'm just
worse,
like, and you're only saving $293, right? You're not saving anything, and you're not going to bump out the cash. we got to get these corporate buyers out. You're not going to bump them. They have pockets. I mean, come on.
How will that bump them out?
Because that's what they're saying. They're saying by having a 50-year mortgage, we can
more
bump
people
out
will
the
come in
corporate
with-
buyers.
Because more buyers
not
will
gonna
come into the
happen.
market
Yeah.
to move them out.
No,
That's
so I
not
don't
gonna
think that happens.
They'll just offer more.
Yep. Next dumb move. Third dumb move. Portable mortgage. The portable mortgage.
Explain that one.
Portable mortgage says you sell your house, Keith, and you have a 4% rate. You keep that rate with that lender, and you get to go to get that next house, and you get to keep your loan. You just apply a new property to it with new terms and qualifications.
And then a
Portable
second mortgage to make up the delta between.
If you need, yeah.
If you need.
But you get to keep that first mortgage rate. So they're trying, like, how do we keep this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one, it would kill our industry, number one, which doesn't excite me. And they have no details around how you would make it portable. Like,
Right.
and none of these servicing lenders, they don't want the 4% mortgage. They don't want the 3% mortgage. They want new money in, interest money in, not principal reduction money. You know, so it's just like,
Well, and they want
man,
fees.
Come on. Well,
So what'll happen is you can port it over, but you're going to get charged a fee.
So along those lines, then, what about making conventional mortgages somehow assumable?
I have
Same
not. Yeah,
thing.
it hasn't come up yet. I haven't seen.
I'm bringing it up. I'm saying, so what is your? Could that be a thing?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just dealing with what's in the cards in my hand
Right.
now. So VA is portable, or not portable, but assumable. It's pretty tough though.
VA
You
and
still have to
FHA.
qualify. And then I've done one in 22 years doing this, right? And then they had to get a second mortgage to make up the difference. And that
That's the
second
part.
mortgage was at 9%. This
Right.
one is at 4%. So
The blended
maybe
rate makes it.
Maybe it was okay, but I don't know that we won a lot. But they felt good about it. And then of course they're going to pay off that second really fast. And just my belief in people's ability to really execute on things diminishes over time, which I don't think is a great quality that I'm learning about myself, Mike. You know,
I think
my disbelief of-
probably a reason for the extension of people living in their homes longer, having the median time frame in a home being 11 years, has to do with the fact that the last year, 5 years, 6 years have been people locked in at 3%, 4%. 2.875%, whatever it is. So that number's going to extend out, right? They're just staying in their homes longer.
Yep.
And then the other part of that too is that the appreciation has slowed on the houses over the last 2 years, and so people were churning because they had made a lot of money in appreciation.
Right,
so
right.
it's like, oh, I've got all this equity, blah blah blah. Well, now that's not the case. So then there's a pressure then on staying put.
Right. And I think it'll be interesting. We need to dig in a little bit, and we don't have enough time, but we need to dig into the fact that the age of a first-time home, the average age of a first-time home buyer in the United States is 40 years old.
So there's so many reasons for that, right? Like, in my opinion, you look at that number and say, okay, 40 years old, people are starting families later, getting married later, graduating college later, extending the lifespan of everything seems to have extended. Like, we're living longer. People aren't going to school right away, and they're taking gap years or gap 5 years, and then moving back in with mom and dad, living in the basement, and then finally, everything is taking longer. The decision to get married. The average age of a first-time homebuyer in the 80s was 20-some years old.
Yeah.
But what was different?
Yeah, people got married when they were 19.
Well, that was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why, in my opinion, that you're having that 40-year-old buying their first property.
Yeah, I'm going to dig into it a little bit because I'm curious, even in Minnesota, what we look like.
Yeah, because
what are the numbers in Minnesota versus like we
New
had
York
said,
City,
25% in the 25% first-time homebuyer rate in the country. What's it in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Right.
And 40 years old in the country. What's it in Minnesota?
Yeah. So we'll dig into that. In terms of rates, and I know we're running out of time, rates are low sixes right now. So they've moved up a little bit.
Right.
You're probably 6.5 if we're honest, but everybody's going to try to maneuver, have you pay a little bit of discount, do this or that, quote it low, hope you take it.
Calvin, thanks a lot. 651-231-2500 to reach Calvin for all your mortgage and refinance needs. 612-627-8000 is our phone number, and as always, log on to hittnergroup.com.